welcome. Be sure to like and subscribe for more scary stories, or I will come for you. If anyone would like early access to my latest stories and an ad-free listening experience, consider becoming one of the Curator's disciples. The link is in the description below. This is one of the scariest stories I've ever written, not because of monsters or shadows in the dark, but because it reflects a reality that is already unfolding around us. The horror lies in how close it feels. Systems of control tightening, freedoms dissolving, and a future where comfort replaces choice. It's terrifying not as fiction, but as a mirror of what may be coming to life before our very eyes. With that said, without further ado, one of my greatest masterpieces, humanity's Final Lullaby, by the Curator. We will bind them with threads they cannot see, threads spun not of iron, but of suggestion, expectation, and unseen consequence. They will be told they are free, yet every choice will already have been made for them long before their hand reaches to grasp it. They will breathe the air we permit, never knowing what has been added to it, never questioning why it makes them weak, passive, dependent. They will drink the water we cleanse with our poisons and believe it pure. They will think the thoughts we seed in their minds, thoughts planted so subtly that they will believe the seeds were their own. They will not resist, for resistance will not be a concept they recognize. They will not rebel, for rebellion will have been stripped from their language, excised from their imagination, buried deep in a forgotten past. They will believe they are owners of their lives, but ownership will be an illusion, a faded shadow of something long vanished. They will possess nothing, and this will be told to them as a blessing, as liberation from the burdens of care. They will rent their homes, never realizing the ground beneath their feet no longer belongs to them. They will borrow their tools, never learning that once tools were heirlooms handed down across generations. They will lease their transport, never realizing that once families carried their own wheels across the road, free to move as they pleased. They will subscribe even to their desires, for what they hunger for will not be born in their hearts, but offered through our channels. And the strings of every possession, every comfort, every indulgence will return to us. Their lives will be carefully measured in recurring payments, in temporary permissions, in subscriptions that never end. Sovereignty will vanish, replaced by endless dependence. Ownership will become a word whispered only in history books, and even there it will not survive intact. It will be twisted until its meaning is unrecognizable, warped into a story of greed, inequality, destruction. We will teach them that ownership led only to suffering, that it is mercy to be free of it, that it is progress to surrender it. And they will believe, for we will be the keepers of every book, every archive, every channel of remembrance. We will remind them, again and again, in words so soft and constant that they echo through their bones. You will own nothing, and you will be happy. It will be the lullaby that rocks their children to sleep, the slogan that follows them through every advertisement, every announcement, every glowing screen. They will give up liberty for comfort, meaning for distraction, truth for indulgence. They will smile because we will redefine smiling as survival. They will laugh because we will tell them that laughter is the measure of wellness. Happiness will not come from within, but from the permissions we grant, from the pleasures we ration. And they will learn to thank us for it. Control will be the highest commodity, the only true wealth, and it will not belong to them. Control will not be a right, but a luxury more precious than gold, more valuable than air, a luxury reserved for the few who sit unseen above them. They will forget that once, long ago, they held dominion over their own lives. That memory will dissolve in the tide of our narrative, drowned in endless distraction. They will surrender the wheel willingly, convinced it is too heavy to bear, and we will take it from their hands, telling them it is for their safety. They will cheer as their freedoms vanish, for we will convince them that freedom was the source of their suffering, that freedom was chaos, and chaos was death. We will hold dominion over their food, for what sustains them will also enslave them. Bread will no longer come from their ovens, but from factories they do not own. Fruit will no longer fall from trees, but from supply chains that we control. They will forget the scent of earth under their fingernails, for the soil will no longer belong to them. Land will be fenced and taxed, regulated and poisoned until it yields not for them, but for us. We will patent the seeds that sprout, altering their design until nothing grows without our permission. Farmers will no longer be stewards of the land, but tenants of our system. The last garden will wither beneath laws we write, and those who try to plant in secret will be punished, mocked, erased. Food will no longer be nourishment, but dosage, measured, labeled, ration. We will lace their nourishment with dependency, adding the chemicals that numb, the sugars that pacify, the salts that addict. They will crave what makes them weaker, and they will curse their own bodies for failing them, never knowing it was by our hand. They will trust labels more than soil, packaging more than harvest. They will worship convenience, and in their worship they will give us absolute power. And should any rise who remembers the old ways, who remembers seed saving, who remembers herds grazing freely, who remembers orchards unchained by ownership, they will be laughed at, their knowledge dismissed as superstition, their hands tied by regulations too complex to escape. Slowly, the memory of self-sufficiency will die, and with it, the last taste of freedom. We will hold dominion over their health, for the body will become another leash. They will be taught to see their flesh as frail, their breath as untrustworthy, their blood as dangerous. Illness will no longer be an accident of life, but a constant fear. We will name the illnesses they dread, create the charts that frighten, and then we will provide the cures. Each cure will create another ailment, each remedy another dependency. They will no longer trust the body's own strength, for we will teach them it is weak. They will no longer believe in the mind's resilience, for we will teach them it is fragile. They will line up for injections, for tablets, for treatments, their sleeves rolled up in gratitude. Each dose will carry a tether, each bottle a chain. They will live long lives, but not in vigor. They will live as patients, not as people. We will cloak ourselves in white coats, in titles, in emblems of authority. They will not question, for the symbols will soothe them. They will forget that their ancestors lived and died without our prescriptions, that the body once healed itself. Instead, they will fear their own skin, their own breath, their own neighbors. They will beg us for protection, and we will grant it at a cost too subtle to see. We will hold dominion over their tools, for every instrument they use will bear our mark. They will believe themselves powerful, because they carry in their pockets devices that connect them to the world. Yet those devices will be cages of glass and signal. Cages they build themselves and cling to willingly. Every word will be recorded, every gesture mapped, every glance analyzed. Their secrets will not belong to them, for we will collect them, store them, and wield them. Their desires will not belong to them, for we will predict them before they form, shape them before they spark, and sell them back at a price. They will not notice, for they will call it personalization. Screens will be their mirrors, and in those mirrors, they will see only what we reflect. They will worship the machine, never knowing that the machine is us, that its voice is our voice, that its gaze is our gaze. They will no longer ask the question, "Who am I?" For the answer will already be given, preloaded into their devices, fed to them in 1,000 glowing notifications. We will hold dominion over their privacy, for privacy will become the forbidden fruit. They will be told that secrecy is dangerous, that transparency is virtue. They will be taught that to hide is to betray, that to withhold is to threaten. And so they will confess freely, eagerly, without restraint. They will install their own watchers in their homes, calling them assistants. They will carry trackers in their pockets, calling them conveniences. They will place cameras on their doors, calling them protection. They will not realize the circle of watchers grows tighter every year. Every room will listen. Every wall will watch. Every city will pulse with the rhythm of surveillance. And they will not resist, for resistance will mark them as guilty. Silence will become suspicious, solitude dangerous. And so they will flood their lives with noise, with confession, with constant exposure. They will not need chains. They will decorate their own prisons with light. We will hold dominion over their fears, for fear is the soil in which obedience grows. Fear will keep them restless, forever watching the horizon for enemies they cannot see. Fear will make them run to us, beg us to save them, kneel before the hand that strikes and shields. We will ignite wars not to conquer, not to win, but to drain, not to destroy, but to control. Their sons and daughters will march into battlefields, not their own, carrying flags they do not understand, dying for causes they never chose. They will believe they fight for freedom, but in truth, they will fight for our balance, our profit, our plan. Enemies will be crafted as needed. When unity among them grows too strong, we will whisper threats of invaders. When faith in us falters, we will conjure shadows of terror. They will never suspect the hand behind the curtain, never question why the wars never end. Each war will devour their resources, leaving them hungrier, poorer, more desperate for our relief. And in their desperation, they will accept tighter chains. They will cheer as their freedoms are stripped in the name of security. They will call it patriotism. They will call it duty. They will not see that the battlefield is eternal, for it was never meant to close. We will hold dominion over their bonds, for the family is the last fortress of resistance, and fortresses must be dismantled. The ties of blood, of heritage, of kinship will be eroded until nothing remains but the state we design. Parents will no longer shape their children, the system will. Children will be raised in institutions we control, nurtured by programs we design, taught lessons we write. Mothers and fathers will be told they are unfit, that expertise lies elsewhere, and they will surrender their children willingly, believing it is for their good. And when those children grow, they will not honor their parents, for they will have been taught to honor the state above all. Marriage will lose its meaning. Partnership will become transaction, and love will be commodified, until it is indistinguishable from indulgence. The home will be dissolved into the network, the hearth replaced by the glowing screen. Bloodlines will fade, lineage will dissolve, history will be severed. Each child will be a child of the system, loyal not to family, but to us. And in this way, no chain of loyalty will remain but the one we forge. We will hold dominion over their hunger, not only of the stomach, but of the soul. They will believe themselves free in their pursuit of pleasure, yet every pleasure will be chosen by us, crafted by us, priced by us. We will shape their appetites, not through force, but through constant whisper. They will not desire what we do not show. They will not yearn for what we do not sell. Their lusts, their cravings, their ambitions will all be fed to them like animals at troughs. They will believe indulgence is freedom, yet indulgence will be the leash. They will gorge on what makes them weak and mistake weakness for satisfaction. They will drown in excess, yet remain starving for meaning, and in that starvation, they will cling ever tighter to us. We will place endless images before their eyes, flawless faces, bodies sculpted beyond nature, pleasures exaggerated beyond truth. They will chase these illusions without end, never realizing that the pursuit is designed to fail. For satisfaction achieved would be a danger. Only longing unfulfilled will keep them bound, and so they will run in circles, chasing phantoms, and the circle will be our cage. We will hold dominion over their words, for words are the borders of thought, and thought is the seed of rebellion. By reshaping their language, we reshape their minds. Each year we will strip their tongue of meaning. Words of defiance will vanish. Words of liberty will be condemned as archaic, dangerous, hateful. Ownership will become oppression. Sovereignty will become selfishness. Dissent will become sickness. They will learn not to say what we forbid, and in time, they will learn not to think it. We will cloak our control in the language of virtue. We will rename submission as safety, censorship as protection, obedience as progress. They will chant these words, never realizing their chains are spelled within them. And when one among them remembers, when one among them speaks forbidden truths, their words will fall into a silence so vast that no echo returns. They will be marked, isolated, erased, not by our hand, but by their peers, who will not understand the words, only the danger. In this way, rebellion will become unthinkable, for thought itself will have been caged. We will hold dominion over their past, for memory is the root of identity. A people without memory cannot resist. A people without memory cannot hope. We will rewrite their histories until they are no longer histories, but parables of obedience. The heroes they honor will be those who submitted. The villains they despise will be those who resisted. They will not know that we have reversed the roles. Each archive will be curated. Each museum will be sculpted. Each textbook will be rewritten. In time, they will forget that there was ever another story. They will believe the chains have always been there, that freedom never existed, that ownership was a curse, not a gift. The elders who remember will be silenced as madmen, their stories dismissed as conspiracy, their memories labeled as false. And when the last who remembers is gone, our narrative will be all that remains. They will live in an eternal present, a present we define. The past will be erased, the future predetermined, and the present unending. They will float in this sea of timelessness, never able to anchor, never able to resist. We will hold dominion even over their deaths, for the end will be ours to dictate. Birth will be licensed, life will be rationed, and death will be administered. They will not belong to themselves, even in their final breath. They will not fear death, for we will redefine it as release, as transition, as a contribution to the greater whole. They will be told their bodies are not theirs, that their remains are resources to be reclaimed, recycled into the system. Their flesh will feed the engines of progress, their ashes, the soil of the machine. Suicide will be reshaped into service, euthanasia into virtue. They will line up to be ended when told their time has come, grateful for the permission to rest. And those who cling to life will be drained of their means to survive until they surrender willingly. Even in death, they will not escape us, for the cycle will not end. Their bodies will return to the system, their data to the vaults, their names to the archive of obedience. And when the last spark of ownership is extinguished, when the last memory of freedom is erased, when the last human heart beats in rhythm with the cadence we dictate, the covenant will be complete. They will not call it bondage. They will not call it slavery. They will not even call it control. They will call it happiness. They will call it peace. They will call it progress. And they will never know that what they surrendered was the only thing that made them human. This is the Curator. I hope you've enjoyed today's scary story. Until next time.